actually did the work that maybe the New York Times could have done, where you looked at the people who were arrested to assess the claim, was this an armed insurrection? What did you find?
So, Tucker, I know that you will be shocked to learn that the armed insurrection trope that we've been hearing for the past 6 weeks is not true. Of the more than 200 people arrested so far, mostly with misdemeanors, trespassing, and disorderly conduct charges, only 14 people have been charged with any type of weapons violation. Only a handful of those people actually used any kind of weapon, pepper spray, a helmet, a riot shield, against an officer or against the building, actually, not to downplay what they did. But Tucker, only 2 people have been charged with any kind of firearms violation. Now, when most people hear armed insurrection, they think of guns and ammunition and firearms. Only 2 people faced charges, mostly for violating DC's very strict gun control laws. It had nothing to do with the Capitol. They don't even have proof that they were inside the building at any point.
Right. So your piece, which again I hope that our viewers read because it's really smart, repeatedly makes the point what the rioters did on January 6th was wrong. You don't approve of it at all.
Right.
You disapprove of it. But the lying about it is so relentless and coordinated and they were white supremacists. They were armed when there's no evidence they were white supremacists, and they weren't, no one used a gun inside the Capitol. The only firing that took place was from police at an unarmed protester. So, like, why are they lying like this about it?
Well, because they've continued to get away with it, Tucker. I mean, from Russian collusion, you go through all of the lies that the left and the Democrats and a lot of Republicans, too, have said over the past 5 years in an effort to damage Donald Trump, sabotage him. But look, it's really alarming what the Justice Department is doing. And for Merrick Garland today to repeatedly say that he is going to put yet another political partisan prosecution at the top of his priority list, overtaking the serious public safety concerns that most Americans have. A lot of his comments today were very alarming. This is another use of our Justice Department weaponized against political foes of the Beltway, but now they're targeting average Americans, holding them without bail in jail, and bankrupting people for misdemeanors.
Yeah, this is not equal application of law, and it's scary for that reason. I appreciate you coming on, thank you.
Thanks, Tucker.
We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. and every weeknight. The show that's the sworn enemy of lying, pomposity, smugness, and groupthink. Stay cheerful in spite of it, or at least try. The great Sean Hannity. Up next from New York.
All right, Tucker, and thank you, and welcome to Hannity. And tonight, Democrats have been in charge of the White House, the Senate, the House of Representatives now for over a month. And it has been, well, pretty much an unmitigated disaster, setting back the country in numerous ways, to say the least. Their first order of business was a weeks-long, all-consuming political stunt, the impeachment charade, with a predetermined outcome and nothing at all accomplished, ending with an acquittal. Their second order of business was legislation that, if passed, would ban President Trump from the Capitol grounds forever, and even Arlington National Cemetery after he dies. In the middle of a pandemic where over 100,000 Americans died during Joe Biden's time in the White House, raging against President Trump was still the Democratic Party and the media mob's top priority. They also just introduced legislation that would further undermine election integrity and also provide congressional voting rights to Washington, D.C. Clearly, while these same Democrats have been in no particular rush to pass a COVID relief package and get money into the hands of Americans who actually need it. Now, they're finally getting around to that with a massive 1.9, not million, not billion, $1 trillion spending bill, and unfortunately it's a little more than a wish list for the radical left, masquerading as a COVID relief package. Wall Street Journal rightly calling it the non-COVID spending blowout. Aside from direct $1,400 payments to Americans, many of whom need it, the bulk of spending is unrelated to getting immediate assistance to our fellow Americans in need through no fault of their own. In fact, nearly $700 billion won't even be spent until after 2022. Including billions that won't be spent until after 2024. So we must ask ourselves tonight, how is that COVID relief? A whopping $350 billion is earmarked as a bailout for state and local governments, which, to translate for you, means that red states that elect fiscally responsible governors and legislatures that balance their budgets, fund their pensions, that have low taxes, well, their hard-earned tax dollars from people in their states will be then transferred to big blue states that have only mismanaged their budgets, never balanced their budgets, taxed their residents into oblivion, and never fund their pensions. In other words, put it nicely, welcome to the Biden United Socialist Utopia of America. In other words, money from fiscally responsible states. You vote for politicians that are fiscally responsible, well, that money will likely be going to places like New York and California, which are grossly mismanaged, wrought with political corruption. And the spending package also sets aside $50 million for environmental justice grants, $112 million for a transit project in California, you know, where Nancy Pelosi lives, $1.5 billion for the Seaway International Bridge, which connects Canada to New York. Oh, Chuck Schumer's home state. $10 million for a Native American language preservation program, $500 million for museums and libraries. Up, and here we go again. The arts and humanities, they will get a ton more money. $40 billion for colleges, universities, which have been collecting tuition the entire time. $750 million for, quote, global health. Global health. In other words, health care for people in other countries. That's the America last again. And last but not least, $1 billion for, quote, socially disadvantaged farmers. And according to a Fox News report, that would include an equity commission and other assistance to advance racial justice in farming. And get this, according to the chairwoman of the Progressive Caucus, the bill will include a $15 federal minimum wage mandate. The CBO is reporting that this would result in the elimination of 1.4 million jobs at a time when millions of Americans are out of work. And more every day as Joe Biden, with a stroke of a pen, is literally eliminating high-paying career jobs in the energy sector. Now, of course, no Democrat spending bill is complete without subsidies for illegal immigrants, federal money for abortions. If passed, don't worry, Planned Parenthood, it will now qualify for PPP small business loans, which then become grants, and bridges to Canada, environmental justice equity commissions for farmers, health care, and other countries. Now, also a budget bailout, really, for New York, for Andrew Cuomo, for Gavin Newsom in California. This is not a serious, thoughtful COVID relief package. What this really is a massive federal payout to everyone and every state that donated to and supported Democratic candidates in 2020. Even during a global crisis, the left is constantly playing political games. Here with reaction. How will Republicans fight this? House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. All right. That's a lot of misappropriation of hard-earned tax dollars. A lot of redistribution. Red states to blue states. Is there anything that you're in the minority, but it's a very slight minority? Anything you can do to stop this?
Maybe we can offset it by something else.
Remember, we're only 5 seats away from winning the majority. It is the slimmest majority the Democrats have had since the 1870s. This bill is too expensive and too expansive.